I'm Scott Al Miller. It is Sunday, the 29th of January, 2023. This is my vlog of daily life in Leon, Nicaragua, and today we are doing something fun, I hope. I am going out for a hike. That is my plan. I had a lot of stuff I just needed to do this morning, which was a little bit of relaxing, but mostly just some work and video stuff. But I have a little bit of free time, which is very important, and I need to get exercise. And so today my plan, I've checked Google Maps, I've studied this, and there is our nearest mountain to where we live is Cerro de Oro, which is also the radio tower. You see it on a lot of my videos. In the distance, you'll see a radio tower on a small mountain that's actually, I believe, volcanic. I'm not 100% sure, but it kind of rises in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of the volcano field, so it's very likely an incredibly old volcano. Certainly nothing to be worried about, but it's close enough. And according to Google Maps, I can cut through some small roads and go over a bridge over the river and get there, and with a total round trip of about 5 miles. So I'm giving that a try. I may, depending on how I feel, do a big loop around and do one way to get there and one way back. But it looks like it should be a good walk. It's a good test of my foot. I won't be so far away that no one could come get me if they had to, but it will stress my foot a bit and show. But yesterday I did a long walk for you guys, and that went really well. So I'm hopeful that today will go well too. In case you're wondering, in real time, trying to figure this out, yesterday on the 28th is actually when I did the walk to go to Sutiaba Airport. So if you see the episode about the airport, which was days before that, I actually filmed that on the 28th and did my topic on that day. I know these get confusing, but just to keep track of where my foot is. And then today on Sunday, I'm heading out to Cerro de Oro. So it's 2 big walking days, one right after another, but my foot feels really good today. And it seems like a good plan to keep working it. And I'm really excited to bring you guys a completely new space and check things out and see what there is to explore in our area, because we're still new to this part. We're still generally new to Nicaragua, right? We haven't been here 2 years yet, and each different part of the city has new walking opportunities and exploration. You find just so many new things, whether it's houses or open countryside or whatever. So today is one of my chances to go out and explore and bring you some of that. So we're gonna head out and see if we can figure it out. So we're gonna head down Nicaragua 14, heading towards the beach out into the country. And if you look on Google Maps, there should be a spot where we can head north and get across the river to get up to Cerro de Oro. Cerro de Oro is pretty easy to find, and I will put links in the description below with like what hill it is we're climbing, because there's information on that kind of stuff that makes it a little bit easier. All right, we're gonna head out, and cross your fingers, this is going to be a bit of an adventure. All right, I got Nicaragua Route 14 right behind me. This way is going into Leon or Sutiaba, and this way, where he just went, is heading out to the beaches. So that's where we are. I'm gonna show you on the map. So I'm gonna bring that up now so you kind of get a starting point and have an idea of where I am. Going north, that's south, going north off of Nicaragua 14, this is the road on the map. So this is the directions that Google gives me as the main road going across the bridge. So we're heading down this way to explore. And this is part of the adventure of Nicaragua, is that this is one of the big roads. Now, obviously it's not the highway, but once you get off the highway, roads get pretty small at times, and you never know what to expect, and you're never quite sure when something is a driveway or a road. You kind of have to just figure it out. So onward and upward, sort of. We have to go down first, but we're gonna go see where this little country lane takes us. As I've found in years past, this is another absolute Google Maps fail. So this shows this as the main road going out to a bridge going over the river, and I want to show what they call the road. So first of all, we have the sweet dog here. This is it. Goes into some grass, and there's a little tiny path, and that ends at about that tree. It goes nowhere. There is nothing here at all. In no way is this the path through. So we're gonna have to go now extremely far around to get anywhere close to where we're trying to go, unless we can discover something else around here. I don't even have a clue of where to start looking for if there's a bridge or a path or anything along here. It doesn't seem possible. I'm gonna turn the camera around so you can see where I just came by. This is where the path was before we petered out into nothing. There's this new construction over here that is not that old, and there's quite a bit done, but it was definitely never finished, right? But there's a lot of a lot of work has gone into these buildings to have it just be stopped, but sometimes it happens. No signs that anything currently is going on at all. And there's really no alternative paths here. I sure hope they don't think that I'm going to take that as the road and try to get somewhere. No, that's going into a fenced area. Like, this is, in no way is the Google Maps correct here. We're gonna have to try something completely different. All right, Google took me an entire mile out of my way because of bad directions. I'm now finally north of Parque Arlencillo, and I am within sight of my destination for the first time. So I'm just about to get to, within a few minutes, I'll be at the first spot that I will have been on that I've never hiked before in a previous video. I'm gonna turn the camera a little bit, show you this beautiful field, and our destination is right over there. It's really hard to see on the wide angle, but that is Cerro de Oro. That is the nearest mountain to where we live, and we're gonna be walking down the road over there to head that way. So I'm a lot warmer and sweatier than I intended to be, because I expected to be about halfway there already, and now we're just starting the journey. Everything I've done for the last 2 miles has been going out of the way so that I can head back to it because the directions were wrong. So, not ideal, but I'm excited about this walk. I think it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a beautiful walk. I was just hoping to have the shortcut at least one direction and maybe come back this way, but that's all right. At least we don't go out of the way on the way back. We're walking down this beautiful country road, and so often when you're doing this, you have no idea where you are. Maps, like Google Maps, do not label the different neighborhoods and everything. But first, I wanted to just pay attention to this road that I've been walking down. This is a really well-maintained pavers road. So this is really beautiful for driving on, walking on, and there's a lot of people walking. And the cemetery and Parque Arlencillo, they're all back there, and I'm heading forward, but they actually have a sign here to welcome us to the neighborhood, which doesn't exist in very many places. So I'm going to swing the camera, partially because this blue house is really cool and this driveway is so steep. But this is a reparto, so that we're not a barrio. A reparto is like a barrio, but it is farther out from the city center. It means it's suburban rather than urban. And this is the Gracias a Dios a Heroes and Martires de Sutiava. So you can see here the spelling of Sutiava that we use less commonly. And this is the actual name of the reparto, is Thanks to God and Heroes and Martyrs of Sutiava. We're going to continue on down the road, but it's interesting that even on a little country road where it feels like you're way out in the country, this is actually a reparto, and somewhere in here there's some amount of organized community, probably off to the right, as I am seeing a number of houses. There's some construction going on, some growth, and on this side is all like open fields. A lot of them are actually sports fields. There's people out playing baseball or soccer or something, and it's an interesting area, and I've never been over here. And I'm going to turn the camera again. This is clearly meant to be a narrow housing lot that never moved forward, but it's been quite some time. And here we've got what looks like a place where landfill is being harvested, and then a road. Where does this go, I wonder? So that the reparto must be up there. Oh yes, there's visible housing and community up that direction through the steep ravine. And always so interesting. I never get over what I'm going to discover when I'm out for one of my hikes. All right, I've reached the end of the pavers and I'm going onto a dirt road here, but the very last thing before you head in there, and this kind of shows just how interesting this area is, and I hope you look at a map. I'm going to show one. I'm going to put up a map right now, but I want you to really, I'm way out in the country. Like it feels so remote. And the last thing before the road ends here is that we came upon UNAM, which is the national university. They have, so León is a big university town, and a lot of the universities are represented here. And here, out in the middle of nowhere, there's no one around, right? And we come upon the botanical gardens of the university. So the university runs this. You can go in here. There's actually a guard sitting there. Here's the prices for foreigners, for all of you who are watching, most likely. $4 to get in per person, which yes, is a little bit steep, but they have to support the park somehow. So I would say no problem at all. I want to come do this sometime soon. I want to film the whole park for you guys. But $4, and then for locals, it's just 25 Cordoba, which is about 70 cents. So it's very affordable. And you notice that for students, it's under 50 cents. It's about 40 cents, I would say. And if you're a primary school student, they give you just a little bit less. It's getting pretty close to 30 cents. And for teachers, and that they go with their students, I believe. And then there's a path coming down here, and then one going in there. But this is so neat that there's like this big formal grand thing and a guard there to take your money, and you can just go explore the botanical gardens. Like, how neat is that? And I'm looking forward to checking that out, because I love things like that, right? Like these is my jam. So I'm going to show you now. There's still community here, and there's a gate up there that guy is heading towards, so that's interesting. And we're going down this dirt road that seems to be heading into absolutely nothing, but I'm sure we're going to find interesting stuff as we go. And I do have to point out, hold on, I don't know where this is coming from, but it is very dry out here. This is a lot of water coming down from here, and then a lot more water pouring into this ditch right here from underground. And then this is like an actual river-ish thing rolling along here. What is making it? Where's all this water coming from? This is the dry season. We're in the summer. There has not been rain for months. Not a drop. And I mean, this looks like water from washing, right? But it's an interesting little stream that comes along, and the road obviously kind of bends around it. And then it goes into, look at this lush foliage that it's going into. What is this? There's like a waterfall-ish thing. I mean, obviously this is not very much water, but what a funny thing. There's so much water that all this has formed. This is all stuff that relies on having a very, very humid environment. I'm very strange. All right, so we stumbled on something kind of interesting. There's a pretty good sized river here. This is flowing into the botanical gardens that's right in front of us there. So this must be part of the walk to go along this. So that makes me even more interested to explore what all this is. And there's a big fence over here, and there's a gate which is open. I have no idea what we're looking at. So, and the water is coming from over here. Obviously there's a river coming from somewhere, and all incredibly interesting. And yeah, we're gonna keep exploring and figure out where we are and what there is to do out here. All of this is not at all what I was expecting to find on this particular walk. So this is interesting. As I work my way through the Reparto, I'm coming through beautiful cornfields behind me and cane fields over here and hay fields in front of me. And it is a beautiful walk. I'm out in the country, and I say this a bit. I grew up on a farm. I miss a lot of just walking and being out in agricultural areas. And this walk is fantastic. I'm really enjoying this, and I've made good progress. So I'm going to turn around and show you where the Cerro de Oro is right here, obviously. And the smaller hill, I have no idea what that is there. And then the big hills down there to the south, those are south of Nicaragua 14 for those looking at a map. But you can see we are making our way towards the hill, and we'll be there pretty soon. So my hike went kind of as I was worried it would. I made it up to the entrance to Cerro de Oro, but it's gated and blocked off. I could get through, like it's not actually hard to sneak in, but it's clearly marked kind of that you're not supposed to go in. I have no idea if this is like private property or just it's the transmission tower, but here I'm going to show, like obviously I could lay on the ground and just roll under there. This is just barbed wire, like it's not hard to get in. And that's the path going the rest of the way up the hill. But I'm here, I'm almost at the top because the main road climbs most of the way up. But it's very disappointing not to be able to go all the way up and get pictures from the summit, because that's kind of the point, is to come up and get the view. I mean, the point's the exercise, right? It was a neat walk through the country, and it's going to be, I think, about 3 miles back. So I'm going to do about 7 miles round trip is my current estimate. And there is a place really close to here selling drinks and snacks, so I'm going to stop and get a drink before I make it all the way back. But I was really hoping that I'd be able to make it to the actual top and show you guys, because I think the views from up there are going to be really neat. But this This is actually locked. It's not like just kind of sitting here. So I feel I probably shouldn't go in because I don't know whose it is. But there's no markings at all. It's just a gate. So I don't know. Like, feels like a bad idea. But anyway, I'm basically up here. I'm very close to the top. I'm at very high elevation, and I guess I'm going to turn around and head back at this point. So a little bit disappointing there. Definitely not what we were hoping for, but it was a really cool walk, and we learned a lot about the area while doing it. So I'm going to go get a drink and figure out what the dinner plans are. Okay, so all the cows going down the road and all the people on motorcycles, you know there's going to be, hey! You know there's going to be something that happens, and a family of 3 people, so a guy driving, I presume his wife on the back, a kid in between, and they didn't slow down going into the group of cows, and you could tell the cows wander across the road. Like, you knew they were going to hit a cow. Just hit a cow. Just kept on going. The cow's fine. People on the motorcycle is fine. They hit it, like, wham, and the cow just kind of veers off, and the bike just kind of, they didn't lose it, and off they went. Adventures in Nicaraguan driving. Like, just bounce off cows. I don't normally carry any money with me when I'm going out for my long walks, but totally worth it today. I knew I was going to be out for quite a bit farther than I normally do, and thank goodness my foot is getting so much better that I'm able to venture out and try some more well, adventurous walks, I suppose. This is really rough terrain that I picked today. The ground is a mixture of like silt and big rocks, so I'm constantly slipping and twisting my ankle and stuff. Not in a way that hurts, it's challenging. And it was awfully nice to be, I'm about 5 miles in, to stop and be able to get a Powerade and just something ice cold and put down, 600 milliliters of something cold and refreshing when I'm out on a walk. I've got about 3 miles to go to get back to the house, and that should hold me till there. So feeling good, and it's all downhill now, so that makes it more likely to fall, but way less effort for the walk back. So that's where I am. I'm retracing my steps. There's no way to do a loop on this particular walk because of Google Maps having completely the wrong information. So very sad that we didn't make it to the top of the mountain, but it was a good walk, and my plan is to find someplace nice for dinner. I am starving. I am recording this on Sunday when we do not have a chef at the house, so it is the day that we normally designate for heading out to eat, although we have been out a lot this week because of all the events and stuff going on. But I'm definitely looking forward to a nice big dinner, especially as I didn't have breakfast today, and Dominica did make homemade veggie burgers today, which were really good. It was her first real attempt at veggie burgers. She's done a lot of other veggie things, but veggie burgers, this is the first time that she really did that, and she has a bunch of new stuff for it. She has a burger press and stuff to do forming and new recipes to try, and she's been doing a lot of research on how to do that, and so that was really good, but we didn't have a lot of it. It was just one, and it wasn't huge, and so it was a pretty light lunch. So I'm definitely looking forward, after a 7-mile walk, I will be really looking forward to a nice big dinner. On the way back, I decided it was just easier to put the camera on time lapse and record a bit of this journey for you. So I hope you enjoy this. I think this is a really good view of where I was walking for a lot of the day. This is really interesting and shows a good portion of the trip, at least half, a little bit more than half, I think, of the total distance that I did in one direction. So remember, I did all of this twice, plus I'm not showing the bit where I started off and went to the wrong place. So it ended up being a really good day. I did a total of 7.5 miles on this hike, 10 miles total for the day. My right foot was in severe pain by the time we got back. I was barely able to walk, but overall did okay, and I don't think I did any damage. I think it's just really sore. Once I got back, immediately just took a shower, and we all went out to Sua for dinner because I was craving food the whole time we were gone and needed to do that. So we went to Sua, got a nice dinner. I got some food into my system because all I had was one small veggie burger with nothing else for the entire day, which is fine, that's enough. But I was certainly hungry after doing a 7.5 mile hilly hike on rough terrain. Once we were done with dinner, we headed over to our friend Jazzy and Thea's house, where Alan and Anna had been hanging out since 3:30 in the afternoon. They've been drinking all day, so we joined them for probably about 2 hours or so after dinner, hung out for a little bit, and then headed home and called it a pretty early night at about 10:30 or so. And I did a little bit of video editing, got some uploads going, because the uploads from this went all night to get them up, and I'm looking forward to doing the editing and seeing how this looks and bring you guys the views and everything from the day. It was very disappointing that Google Maps got it so wrong, and even more disappointing that I did so much walking and was not able to go to the actual summit of the hill. That's just need to find a better way around that. But I think this shows that we can do some longer walks. I think it shows us some really interesting places to go. I really love the places we discovered today, the communities, and staring at the map, I've got a number of communities I want to go investigate that are in that kind of area. We're not going to go up to the hill anytime soon, but in the lower areas that were closer and heading a little bit more towards the city, there's 3 barrios or repartos that I found. And it's funny how much you look at a map and don't realize what's there until you walk there. At least for me, the way it works. My brain does not really comprehend the map until I have walked pretty close. And then it's like, oh, there's another reparto here. Oh, there's another reparto here. I could get from one to one to one and then come back into the city somewhere else. Okay, that could be really interesting as a walk. So yesterday and today, I'm really enjoying the walks that we did. My foot's in a lot of pain, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to walk again. I hope pretty soon. But it was a good day, and we had a nice evening. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this walk. Get in the comments below and let me know. Did you enjoy the walk? Did you enjoy the location? What kind of stuff do you like me walking to? I do know that people like me showing like houses, and sometimes these wild walks discover interesting houses. There was one really interesting house on this walk, but at no point could we see it from the walk. I could see its gate. I could tell it was there, but there was nothing to show, and I didn't get to see anything either. But looking at satellite images, I know there was at least one really neat property hidden back in a field there, which is how Nicaragua is, right? Some things are out on the main road, but there's like these amazing jewels hidden off in the middle of nowhere that you would never guess. That's so often the cool thing. And I mean, that's true anywhere, right? It's going to happen in Italy. It's going to happen in the United States. But here I feel there's really neat, amazing things nestled into the most completely unpredictable locations. And that's part of the fun, along with discovering like the botanical gardens and things like that, and how busy it was with all the people coming out of Parque Arlencillo on the way home. I couldn't believe how many people have been in that park. It makes me really happy that the big, successful public parks, even ones that are so far out from the city center, are getting so much traffic that people take the time to go out there, and that stuff is being used and enjoyed and an important part of the community. That's really satisfying to know that that's happening. So yeah, get in the comments. I want to know what you think of this walk and what you'd like to see and where I can go, and the types of things you like. Please remember to like and subscribe. Obviously, huge deal there. Share on social media. Tell people about the show. And if you'd like to sponsor the show, this is huge. This is what makes it all possible, right? You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Scott Allen Miller and become a direct patron of the show. That's very meaningful. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see all of you tomorrow.